first got here to Jerusalem, it was kind of almost like a culture shock, because we lived here for 5 years, and then for 2 years we were in San Diego, and it's such a different world. Jerusalem is just this place of polarity for me, because on the one hand, it's home. It's definitely home in a lot of ways, and it's really, really beautiful, and the people are very warm and loving, and the food is great. It's very fresh, it's very beautiful. It's a lot healthier actually than anywhere else, I would say, even though there is still a lot of, non-vegan food, but there's so much like veggies and fruits, and there's access to them, and they're delicious. So that's what I love about Jerusalem. It's also, you walk on the street and you meet people, and then you talk to them just randomly, like the most amazing deep conversations, and that is really cool because I don't find that often in San Diego. And people are just, they've been through a lot here, so they have a lot to share, and a lot of emotion to share, and a lot of connection. So that's really amazing. There's also cats everywhere because in Israel there are cats everywhere. They're homeless, but a lot of people feed them. A lot of cats and dogs and just animals. Well, mostly cats actually, and it can be sad sometimes, but it's also beautiful that people feed them and care for them too. And so I love that. And of course the hummus, which I've been excited about for a while, to eat some hummus. I love hummus, and it reminds me of home. And when we were coming here, I told Tomel that I want to eat hummus like every day, and in the last 2.5 weeks I've had it 4 times, so I would say I've had it quite a lot, and it was all really, really delicious. So it's very easy to have access to vegan food, and Tomel's family is also very close to being vegan. When we go to restaurants, we all eat vegan together mostly, and also for the holidays we just brought vegan food with us, and it was so delicious and beautiful, and actually the entire family ate it too, so that was really nice. He has a big family, unlike my family is tiny because I'm an only child and my parents are only children, so it's very small, and the only close people I have here in Israel are my grandmas, but they're like moms to me, so I spent a lot of time with them too on this visit. And then there's the part of Jerusalem that I don't like very much, and that is the violence and the conflict, and not just of Jerusalem but of all of Israel, but in Jerusalem you can really, really feel it. And the second that I step into the city, I really feel that impacting my soul. I feel that it's a very conflicted and violent and hateful place, as much as it is a place of diversity, because there's everything here. There's, just all of the different kinds of people that live in Israel live in Jerusalem. There's Palestinians, of course, there's Israelis, there's really religious people, secular people, Ethiopians, Europeans, Moroccans, Iraqis, everything. And that's really, I love that. I love walking on the street and seeing all the different kinds of people that live here. But on the other hand, there's a lot of tension between these people, and you can see that the way that they look at you and the way that they look at each other, you can see that they have tension, and there's a lot of unspoken kind of language going on, a lot of just hatred, a lot of hatred. And that's really hard for me because I'm very sensitive and I can definitely feel it. And there's also a very strong military presence. And I think some people who live here, they don't notice. They just kind of live their life, and they experience it differently than I do. But I'm very sensitive to the military presence in Jerusalem and in Israel in general, and you can see the walls that surround Jerusalem, and you can see the difference between the Jewish villages and the Palestinian villages, and the glimpses of the West Bank that there are from Jerusalem. I did a lot of work with Israelis and Palestinians for the past 7, 8, even years, and the stories of the people are very, very strong for me, and their lives here are very strong, stand out very strong for me. It's a very big part of my identity to be kind of like, to see the inequality that exists in Jerusalem, specifically in East Jerusalem and West Jerusalem, and also of course in the West Bank and in Israel. It's just a huge disparity, and the racism also that exists in this country is insane. It's very blatant, and if you can read Hebrew, you can see a lot of statements on the walls here, a lot of political statements and a lot of racist statements about just death to the Arabs, and just the way that the Jewish people see the Arab people, and vice versa as well. But because I'm Israeli and Jewish, I see that very strongly, and it just hurts me a lot. And, you know, just being around my Palestinian friends that I'm very close to and I love, and my best friend who's like my sister, and hearing her stories and the way that she, like the things that she has to deal with. The fact that when she lived in Jerusalem, she couldn't get an apartment for a really long time because people wouldn't rent to her. And that stuff just really, really hurts me, and I can't ignore it. Even when I'm here on vacation and I'm, you know, just walking around, that's what I see all the time. I see these walls and all the soldiers and the weapons, and thankfully I don't have to take the bus because we rented a car. But when I lived here, I would get on the bus and I would be surrounded by guns, and they would like rub against my leg, and it was just really, really horrible feeling. Like I couldn't deal with it. A lot of people, when they see that here in Israel, they feel protected, and they like it and they feel safe. But I feel the complete opposite. I just feel violence here, and I feel like, you know, I need to defend myself. And I also feel I kind of feel the gaze that the Palestinians have towards these soldiers. I have the same one, of fear and of like probably being hurt or searched by them, or just, you know, treated unfairly by them. And also, of course, like, these soldiers are kids. They're 18, 19, 20, 21. They're children to me. So that's also really, really crazy. And just like empathizing with the fact that they were put in that position and they have to stand at the borders, or not even in the borders, between Palestinian villages, between Israeli cities, just everywhere, and check people in the middle of the night, and it's cold and it's scary and it sucks. So it's just, you know, that kind of situation for everybody here. And it's hard to be in Jerusalem and only experience the magic of Jerusalem, because there's a lot of just horrible parts about Jerusalem. And then the magic of Jerusalem is also the spirituality of Jerusalem. And whenever I enter the city, I can feel the holiness right away, because so many people find it holy. I personally don't, because I'm not very religious, but I'm very spiritual. I mean, I guess I am religious in a way. I really, really love the Jewish holidays, and we came here for the Jewish holidays, 3 of them, so everything was closed for like half the time that we were here. And my favorite day of the year is this day called Yom Kippur. And Yom Kippur is a day when Jewish people fast for 25 hours, including water, so they don't drink water or eat, and everything is closed. So I wish I could show you that, but I couldn't, because I couldn't use the camera or electricity or, you know, anything. We basically just walked around, and the streets are empty. There are no cars, and you just walk on the street, and it's so much fun because everybody's just wearing white and just walking on the roads. There are no cars. So it's my favorite day of the year. So it was just like I'm finding that I'm very much more connected to my spirituality here in Jerusalem somehow. Just, the spirit of the city just lets me connect to it, and also I was able to define what spirituality is for me, and it's just seeing that whatever you believe and feel, it defines the truth of your life. Because a lot of times we live life through material things, and I think they're the opposite of spirituality. So just thinking that someone else defines your life and circumstances define your life, just, if you believe that somebody else defines your life, and also if you live life in a way where what defines you are material possessions rather than believing that your mind and your thoughts define the ultimate outcome of your life, to me that is spirituality. And I kind of just define that now, because I know that I am a very spiritual person, but I didn't know what that even meant. So it was pretty cool to define it, and I kind of, in my reflection for this coming year, I want to just live that, just really, really be grounded in the belief that what I believe and how I feel is what's going to define my life, and not anyone else or anything else. So that is my wish for the year. So this trip was very profound for me and very thought-provoking, and I'm very thankful that we came here. I was really stressed about coming here for many reasons. Just being around so much family and being around Jerusalem in general stresses me out a lot of times. And also like not having my blender and not having my kitchen and not having my bed and like all these things. And then at the end of the day, it was such a good trip so far. And it was just so nice to be around family. I really, really appreciate them and the way that they treated us and the way that they cared for us. And of course, my beautiful friends too. And and I'm excited for the rest of the trip. It's about 1 more week. So many flies. And then we're gonna go to Portugal, and that's gonna be really fun. Just the two of us, and actually get to hang out, just the two of us. So I will catch you in Portugal, and I hope that you're enjoying this vlog so far. So we very much enjoyed Lisbon. It's a beautiful city. Our favorite was Sintra. If you come here, you have to go. It's absolutely magical. It's all of these castles in the green, so it's kind of a mix between just greenery and nature and castles. It's incredible. And we were here for 3 days, but today we're gonna be here for another day because our flight was actually canceled. We actually sat on the plane for 4 hours, and then all of a sudden they said, no, the flight is not gonna happen, so you have to go get a hotel and come back tomorrow. And what the lesson is from all of that is you just have to enjoy every moment and be excited and thankful for extra opportunities, because actually in the morning I said, I wish I had another day in Lisbon, and there we go, we have another day. So besides that, the other thing that I was thinking about the whole time traveling here, which was very short, it was only 4 days really, is that it's so important to take every opportunity that you can to travel, even if you don't have a lot of money and you can't really go for a long time, which I always like to travel for a month or 2. I think that's the best because you really get to know the culture and the people and the place. But I couldn't really do that because I have to work and you know, just it's expensive. So we took the opportunity to travel for just 4 days, and it was so worth it because I just feel like my head is so clear, and I took this break from life, from society, from worries, from thought, like stressful thoughts. So I highly recommend doing that even for the weekend. And Portugal, I love it. I fell in love with it. I feel like it wants us back more and more because the people are amazing. They're so nice, they're so kind. They're just really lively people, a lot more like Israelis actually that we're used to back home. And even though they'll answer you in Portuguese, most likely when you talk to them, you will still get help every time, and they're just really wonderful people. And we stayed at an Airbnb. Right now we're staying at a hotel because that's what we got for this night, but we stayed at an Airbnb, and our host was so amazing. She helped us with all these ideas of what to do and where to go. So that's one reason I love it. The other is it really reminds me of home, of Jerusalem. The people, and also like the scenery and the nature and everything, it's just really reminiscent of it, and the beaches and everything. So I kind of felt like at home but also on vacation. And since we went to Israel first and then to Portugal, it was like a nice continuation on our road back to San Diego. And then the other thing is, holy crap, the fruit. Oh my goodness, it's so delicious. So our kind of like host or Airbnb owner, who is a really lovely lady, and I will link the Airbnb where we stayed in the description of the video, but I highly recommend checking it out. It's a little out of the way, it's not in the center of the city, but we really like that. We rented a car and we were able to just drive everywhere. We really like staying there. It was like more, we were the only tourists more or less, and we just got to see the people and, you know, going to work and just living life. And she told us about this little fruit shop next to where we were staying, and it had the most amazing fruit. Persimmons and cherimoya, passion fruit and papayas and figs and like all of my favorite things, and grapes, and just everything was amazing. Like I honestly think that I did not have one bad fruit here. So I'm so, is it like when I eat good fruit, it just makes me happy and excited about life, truly. So we had a lot of delicious meals, and we also made our dinner at the Airbnb because we went out to eat so much in Israel that we really didn't want to eat out anymore. Today we will because we don't really have access to a kitchen. But I honestly think that if you want to be like healthy as a vegan and travel, of course you can go out to eat, but it's just not as nice to go out every night. So we went to this organic store as well, this health food store, and we bought a bunch of veggies. And we also just went to the supermarket when we needed, and then to the fruit shop, and we had fruit all day long. And then for dinner we had just dinners that we made, and they were so good. And it was really nice to hang out at home and eat as if we were in our own house and make dinner together. And I really like that style of traveling a lot more than when you go out to a restaurant every single night. I find it like really heavy, which we did in Israel. We ate hummus like every day, and we went out to eat all the time. So that was pretty much it in Portugal. I'm so happy we picked this destination, and I kept saying it every day because it's just beautiful, and it's a lovely place. So I highly recommend it, and I highly recommend staying at our Airbnb, which I will link below. And I hope that you enjoyed this vlog and that you followed along with us, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!